Pharaoh's on the Hot Homestead here, and in today's video I'm going to explain what the heck that is behind me. So let's take a look. This deck, as you can see, I've got this deck. Eventually this deck is going to be pretty much all enclosed, but until I get the money to do that, I run into a situation during the winter where I've got, well, as well as even not during the winter, but I got high winds. So I got winds beating up against my trailer there. And then I've also got a situation where I've got rain. And then I've got snow. And sometimes the mornings when I get up to go to work, it's like single digits. So I've got ice out there. So I want to try to reduce the ice in front of the door as I step out so I don't slip on my tush. And then also, how can I help make that transition from this trailer into the barn without having to walk through a bunch of snow and wind and have to battle the winds and things like that. So I came up with this contraption. Let me just show you what I've done. And by the way, don't laugh too hard. It's strictly redneck. It's strictly temporary, but I think it's going to work just fine for now. In fact, it's actually been up for about a month and a half, and it's actually doing very well. It's exactly what I've wanted it to do. So basically on my roofing, it's just 2x4s, and they're just 24 on center. And I just did a little fascia board of 2x4, and I got some metal roofing that I had picked up at on Craigslist for a long time ago, and now I'm putting it to good use. And the screws I used to put into this are screws I got out of a container from that auction that I got, a whole bunch of stuff, and I did a video on that as well. But basically what I did was I did a 2x4 framework and 24 on center basically, and then I just took this 3.5 mil plastic, clear plastic, and I just stapled it on. And then what I did was then I took this duct tape and I put it over the staples. Now this section here, I added more staples to it because I was running against 50, 60 mile an hour winds beating literally right up against there, and it was just flapping up a storm, and it was pulling the staples out, which is kind of what I thought would happen, and I was just hoping it would last, and so far it's done better than I expected. So I went ahead and did some additional staples where where it had came off, and that seems to be holding just fine. Basically, since the wall is basically about 8 feet and the plastic is 10 feet, I cut the bottom down there, and then up on top I just left those open there. Now on the plywood that's on here, the plywood doesn't go all the way through. Now on this here, I threw this extra piece along here of duct tape, and why I did it, I just thought maybe it would help hold the plastic from flapping around more. I don't know if it's helped or not, but then what I did was I came out a little bit further than what I wanted to do a doorway. That door is exactly 4 feet and just slightly under 8 feet. So I tried to use a whole sheet of plywood there. And up here, I just nailed on a 2x4, and then I just used some holders. Now if you notice on my roofing, I didn't go all the way across. I basically used some plywood as purlins and just put that on the end, and then one down the middle, and then I used some bracing, 2x4 bracing. Now on my door, I've got 4 hinges, just because of the weight of the door. And a little latch. And here's how my door turned out. I had to do this to make this here work out, because if you notice, that bolt there lines up right on the edge of that, so I added that just to give it some more something to grip onto. And it actually works out nice, because I can actually use this kind of as a handle too. But I just outlined it with 2x4 and then threw one across the center. And so far the door's not warping at all. It's not sloping at all. I just went ahead with a regular 2x4 piece there. Now, one thing I did not do when I put this on is I didn't seal underneath the wall at all. And so when I get a lot of rain, because this decking is, as you can tell, it's pretty dirty because the dog and the mud and all that I've been battling. But it's just OSB, and I've painted it, got a couple coats of paint on there. But it's still, in the joints, it swells up in the joints. So the joints are all taller than the centerpiece. And so what happens is, when you come across something like this, I'm getting water coming in here and here. And like I said, this is temporary, so that's why I didn't put any sealant underneath. But so that's kind of a hassle. But again, I'm expecting to take this down in a few months anyhow. But I'm just showing you what I temporarily did. And when I built these walls, I just built them in sections and then put them up, and then I just nailed these guys together. And up on top, when you put the 2 plates up on top, that really helps holds the wall together and straightens it out a lot. I used some straps to just help hold the 2x4 in place, really, more than anything. And let me tell you, with the winds I've had, it's held up very nicely. But as you can see, as you kind of walk in, here's the door to the trailer, and then there's the door to the barn. So now I can easily walk in. It's all enclosed basically, or semi-enclosed. I put out a couple chairs there so I could enjoy the outside without being beat up by the wind. I took just some wire fencing that I had and put right along here, mainly to keep the dog from getting out. And instead of doing wire fencing there, I just put some wood there in the chair. And then I put the plastic up against the RV again, just to kind of help block some of the wind. I did not put a section right here. I was going to, and I just didn't. I think I'm going to leave it like it is. I've got a section along here. That tape against that RV is holding just fine. And here I just taped the bottom. I put this here just because this backside's open, so I wanted to help block some of the wind. And as you can see, I used literally pieces of the OSB as I used for purlins, because I tried to use all material that I had. I had to go buy some of the 2x4s. And then this wall, this door here, is a 4x8 sheet. I cut a doggy door in there so the dog can go out to his bathroom area, and I just left that open. And I just put a basic hinge here. Now some of this is a little tight down there, so it's not like a perfect square, which is no big deal. So basically he's got this little run, he goes over here, goes in there, and that's where he does his poop when he's all enclosed. I have fencing all along here so he doesn't get out. And then I've got fencing, as you can see, part of it there. Fencing all over there so he doesn't get out over there. So when I'm not here, he's got an area to run, and or mainly to go do his bathroom duties. This I just have here. It's a sheet of the foam 3/4 inch that I picked up, I was going to use, and I decided not to use it. And then this section up here and how I blended it in with that roof, I'm going to add that to the end of this video. But that was interesting how I blended. Now, and then I just took a piece and put it on the corner there because I was getting some snow coming in from that corner. And I just nail gunned it into the floor, again just to help hold it. Alright, so let's take a look on how I'm tying this temporary room into the barn there. I've got my I'm just using a 2x4 for now. All this construction is going to be 2x4, so let's take a look at what I got. Alright, so hopefully this is coming out okay with the glare and stuff. But I have a hanger over here, one of those 2x4 hangers that have the lip over. So I've got a 2x4 hanger over here, and so here's my 2x4 rafter basically. So I've taken another 2x4 and I've got it here, and I basically made what I think is called like a cripple wall. So I've got a piece here. This rafter here is really not a rafter. I'm building a wall basically. So this is level. I've got 4 of these brackets here, or pieces bracing, that goes down. There's the second one. So what it is, it goes down to another 2x4 down there that's actually not attached to anything other than the braces. It's free of the metal roofing. However, though, it is attached here to this brace here, and this brace here is then attached to the top plate of the wall, and then this brace here goes up to the top 2x4. And then what I've also done is I've just did 3 of them because I don't expect any weight. I did 3 of these braces, I guess, to go here and then up there. And I just put a single nail there. There's a couple nails in this, and this really made this this cripple wall pretty tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another piece of plywood, and I'm going to, or OSB, whatever the heck you want to call it, I'm going to lay it on here. Now this is not totally perfect, but this is a temporary room. Because I don't have the money to build my overall enclosed deck that I want to have, I'm going to just enclose part of it, and I'm going to just rig it up. So I'm going to just make it work. So this here, just for this temporary piece, is going to be fine. And then I'm going to just put some corrugated metal on top of a piece of plywood. It's going to hang out here, and then I'm going to put another piece here of corrugated metal. But there's going to be a rafter that's going to come down through here as well. Let me go ahead and continue to work on this makeshift temporary enclosed patio. Now, to get these angles, I'll be honest with you, I have no idea how I got these angles. Not a clue. But I got them. This one's a 35-degree angle and that one's 65. I was just banking on the fact that this here is level and the barn is level, and I just kept playing around with it until I got a cut that makes sense, and that cut's pretty close to 65 and 35. So how I did it, I have no clue how I figured that out, so don't ask. Trial and error. I probably made about 45 cuts, but good thing I had some spare wood. Concho, sit. Isn't he a good dog? He looks good, doesn't he? He's adorable. Look at all this mud. Look at all that mud. His feet are actually clean, believe it or not. I think I'm going to give him a Navajo Indian name of Mudfoot, as he goes to look for rabbits. So here's a look at the roof, and I just butted up against the RV carport. It's the same color but different material. This is the way it looks like as I try to blend it up against the barn. And those are sheets of corrugated metal I had already had. And like I said, so far it's all withstanding 60-mile-an-hour winds. So like I said, that's just a temporary room. It's not going to last much more than a few more months. But it does give me that protection from the wind right now. It gives me protection from the snow up against the trailer, so I can walk between the two, the trailer and the barn. Plus, when I walk out the door in the mornings at 4 o'clock in the morning, that at least I'm not standing on ice or what have you, slipping out the door. It's really helped a lot with the ice thing. So, but yeah, I just wanted to show you what I did temporarily. It's holding up fantastic against the wind, a lot better than I expected on that plastic. But that's it for now. Check you guys out on the next video. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it that good old thumbs up thing and share the video with others. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe and check out my other videos. I love reading your comments, so if you haven't done so, go ahead and make a comment. My name is Jeff, and you've been watching Arizona Hot Homestead.